that's one I've never put credence into. You know, you want to talk Epstein, of course. Like, that guy didn't kill himself. You know, there's certain things that are just, you can tell. Like, they make it so obvious, which is sad that people can't see that.
Who was the latest person that killed themselves?
Jean-Luc
Burnel. Yeah. The French model agency guy.
Now, you want to know about that one? That's so interesting to me. Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in the wee hours of a Saturday morning in August. August is statistically, I believe, the slowest news month of the year. We know that after 10 p.m. on Friday, before 1 or 2 p.m. on Saturday, that is the slowest statistical news time of the week. This man killed himself at 2 a.m. in a jail.
People aren't looking at their phones or watching the news.
Yeah. In a jail where the cameras malfunctioned, the security wasn't there. The attorney general at the time's father is the guy who gave this dude his first job ever. Like, you can't make this shit up. And at least people were somewhat on it then. So now Jean-Luc Brunel spends whatever it was, 2 years almost, a year, whatever it was, in some French prison, so not here. He kills himself in the wee hours of a Saturday morning in France on the weekend of President's Day weekend in America, so it's a 3-day weekend, in the early morning hours without a camera on. He knew where all the bodies were buried, or a lot of them.
Right.
That week, Russia invades Ukraine. Fitting.
Very, very fitting.
Very fitting. You know, like, what do you think of that whole thing, Epstein?
I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. I think that there's some definite fucking espionage going on, probably. I think he was definitely some sort of spy. You know, the whole thing that fascinates me is how the fuck is Ghislaine getting through all the shit that she's getting through? Like, she went through that whole entire trial, and do you know what the verdict of that, like what it ended up happening with her trial? Isn't she going to go back? Isn't she getting some sort of appeal?
Well, now apparently a juror may have lied.
Right. So there was a juror that. Right.
When did her verdict come out?
I don't remember.
I forgot this one.
I don't know.
It came out on, I believe it was Wednesday evening, December 29th.
Okay.
The slowest news week of the year. In an evening, 2 days before New Year's Eve, on a year where New Year's Eve even falls on Friday. So the New Year's is on Saturday. January 2nd is on Sunday. You don't even get back into the swing of things until January 3rd, and it's 5 days old, and no one paid attention. So no one gave a shit that the judge sealed all the files. They're sealed. Boop. Gone. And also that judge, and this
Wait, what
one,
do you mean sealed the files?
she sealed the Epstein records. It cannot be released. Like the things that were not
like the
presented,
evidence?
Yeah, that were not presented at trial are like Kennedy'd. They're JFK'd.
Really?
Yeah. So
when else has that happened besides JFK?
It's a good question. I mean, it's happened.
Okay.
I don't know, but it's there's other things we could think of.
Because there's national security implications?
Yeah, I think they did some of that for the 9/11 Commission report. Yeah. I could be wrong about that, though, Austin. You might want to check that. But, yeah, like, they're telling you what they're doing. Now, first of all, are there other Epsteins out there that we don't know about? Yes. Do governments around the world do crazy shit like this? Mm. Yes. Do we know who he worked for sure? No. But he was the most public. I mean, I walked past his house. He's right next to Central Park. Yeah, he's on like 69th Street. No, it's not 69th. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. I think
does it have that little JE insignia right there?
I want to say it's like 71st Street or something on the Upper East Side, though. It's like right there, pretty dangerously close to 69. But you know, I went back and I was looking at this a couple months ago after this trial, and I'm like, when did this start? Like, we saw the story creep up in 2015. And then the lawsuit came in 2017. And people were talking about it a little bit. Then 2019, boom, like he's in jail and then he's dead, like the whole thing. I'm like, when did they report on this guy first, though? And I'm like, well, we know about the 2002 flight. So I had known that. You go Google it, you'll see stories in like Vanity Fair and stuff, like early stuff about him. He first popped on people's radar in seemingly like 2002. And what popped him on was that flight with Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, and Chris Tucker to Africa.
What a fucking flight.
What a flight. So I'm like, okay, where can I find a story where this was reported? Because every time they would talk about it, it would be in a story from 2015, like the famous 2002 flight. And I Googled 2002 flight with all kinds of keywords and like the quotes to try to separate stuff out. And I could never find a story from like October 1st, 2002. Clinton on flight with billionaire, mysterious billionaire. I could never find that. And so then I found, I think it was in the New Yorker, did a big piece on October 28th, 2002. And I went and found the flight log first, and the flight log has it was like September 21st or September 22nd, 2002, where it has this flight, and it has the names written down, President Bill Clinton, Chris Tucker, Kevin Spacey, on the logs that his pilot physically wrote down, because that's available online. And so then in this New Yorker or whatever it was piece, they say, the mysterious billionaire came on people's radar when Page 6 reported. So Page 6 in the New York Post. Boom, there it is. They're the ones who reported this flight. So I go to Page 6. I go to archives. There are archives of every month from 1999, when they started putting it online, through today, except in 2002 and 2003, including September and I believe October 2002, are not in there. There's 7 months missing from 2002 and 5 from 2003 right after the story, and then there's 1 month missing in 2004. There's not a single month missing, including 1999, 2000, and 2001, to present day.
Wow.
So when this would have been reported, you can't even get that. So what I wonder with him is, like, we always wonder, like, what is a secret that's too big that humanity, or society at least, whatever relevant society, like, couldn't handle it? If you found out that governments, whoever they are, made a trade-off where they said, we're going to we're going to enable someone to be a total pervert for the next 40, 50 years. And here's what we're going to get out of it for civilization over the next 1,000 years. Because some of these people, they look crazy. They're thinking about the survival of certain, like, ethnic groups in different countries around the world into the future. And so they're looking at, like, well, how do we make sure all of us survive? Thank you guys for checking out this clip. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button on this video. It is a huge, huge help. And if you'd like to check out this clip's full podcast episode, that link is in the description below or right here. And finally, you can follow me on Instagram and X by using the links in my description below.